tomorrow you can partake in a class that teaches the basics to start biking your commute to work. Our Mary Jo is live on Madison's West Side with details on why you'll want to go. Good morning, Mary Jo.
Good morning, Charlotte. And you know, it's no secret that Madison is a huge bike community, but if you've ever wondered about how to get started, there's a class you can take Tuesday night, and with us this morning is Jessie Lerner with Sustained Gain to tell us all about it. So good morning, Jessie.
Good morning, Mary Jo.
So, you know, why should anyone even leave their car at home and take a bike to head to work or school?
Well, first off, it's really fun. I mean, I personally bike commute because it ensures I have exercise every day. But when you take a step back and look at it, there are health benefits, environmental benefits, and economic benefits, both for the individual riding and for our community here in Madison.
And does it matter what kind of bike you use? I know you mentioned this is a road bike here, and you can tell because the tires?
Yes, because I have thin tires.
Okay.
You can commute on anything as long as it has two wheels and brakes. Those are important. A bike rack is really nice. Because, if you're bike commuting, you probably have stuff. And if you have a backpack on, that always works. But, you know, as someone who is going to meetings during the day, I like to not be sweaty, so not having anything on my back helps. When I started commuting, I had this rack, and I'd bungee things. After about a year, I invested in a nice...
a fancy bike bag.
A fancy bike bag, waterproof in case it rains, so that really helps.
And, you know, you mentioned, you know, especially if you're going to meetings and stuff, that could be a concern about things that you're carrying. But what about your attire? Because you are looking very nice this morning, and I can't imagine that you're able to bike in heels and your skirt.
I bike in heels and a skirt pretty regularly. I also only have a 5-mile commute. If I'm biking longer, I will change my shoes and then. But it's really nice to be able to bike in what you're going to a meeting.
So you don't have to do the whole changeover, you know, Superman makeover inside the bathroom.
Spandex is great, but only if you're going on like a long ride.
Okay, and then real quick, Jessie, before I let you go, what are some of the basic gear items people might need, safety things to have on their bike before they even get started?
Definitely a front light, a back light is really important, a helmet.
Oh, and we do have that.
Probably a good idea.
We're not on the bike yet, so that's okay.
And as far as that safety-wise, lights, helmet, rack, a lock, so that when you get somewhere, you can lock it up.
Keep it safe, make sure no one takes it. Well, Jessie Lerner, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And then you can check out the Choose to Commute Bikers Workshop tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at Redompte Coffee Shop there. And a little tidbit that might give you some incentive when you go and take the class, you get a free bike light.
Yes.
I want to say. So you'll have one of those safety pieces already taken care of. Charlotte?
All right, Mary Jo, thank you very much. Start riding your bike to work, but it needs a tune-up. Mary Jo joins us live with some things you need to look for. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlotte. You know, even before you get that tune-up, there are a couple safety checks that you can do yourself, and it doesn't take very long to do that. Now, joining us this morning is Lexi Wallace with Dream Bike. So good morning, Lexi.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. So for starters, we have a bike, and for start, you want to make sure it fits.
Yes.
Right. Do people actually get fitted for their bikes?
Yes, you can get fitted for your bike so you wouldn't have the situation like you just did where you're trying and having a hard time getting your feet on the pedals and up onto the seat. So that's one thing you want to do when you're getting your bike from whichever store.
Okay, but then before you hit the road, there are a couple of things you want to do yourself.
Yeah.
And so for starters, we have the tires you were talking about.
Yep, exactly. So some basic maintenance checks that you want to do every time before you ride. These could be about 30 seconds up to 5 minutes.
Okay.
First thing you want to do is check your tire pressure. And the best way to do that is with a tire pressure gauge. You're just going to unscrew down on your tire pressure.
Okay, so just right down there.
And you could even use a floor pump, which has a gauge on it. Also, the tire pressure numbers are going to be on the sidewall, and most road bikes are anywhere from 90 to 120.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that your tires are pumped up properly. The second thing, kind of when we're in this area, you want to look at your brake pads and make sure that your wheel doesn't wobble, it moves smoothly, there's no cracks or bulges or any other issues in your tire, and that your brake pads, the tire sits equidistant between those brake pads.
So it's not leaning too much to one side or the other.
Exactly.
Okay,
right.
From the tires you have these.
Yeah, and then you also have these quick releases here. And so you want to make sure that your quick releases are on tight. For example, if we looked at this one, This one is
this
off.
one says it's open or something.
Which, yeah, this one's open. That wouldn't be very good. So you want to make sure that it's on tight and make sure that you press it in each time before you're going. And then lastly, just give your brakes a quick tug to make sure that they're working.
Okay, and then, you know, we had mentioned a tune-up earlier before we came on here. Is that something you have to do week to week?
It's a good idea to have your bike tuned by a professional 6 months to annually, depending on how much you ride. And you can do that at all the bike shops in town.
And, you know, this is a really nice-looking bike, real quick. How expensive do they run? How can you get them for cheaper?
Yeah, gosh, there's tons of programs around. At Dream Bikes, we offer very affordable bikes so that anybody can get on one. They can range from $35 to $500. If you wanted to go a more upscale route, say at REI or some kind of store like that, you'd be looking at like $200 to $500 for a basic starter bike.
Okay, well, good to know. Thank you so much, Lexi, for being with us this morning and showing all the safety checks. You can check out the Choose to Commute Bike Workshop tomorrow night at Rodamte Cafe. It starts at 7 p.m. and it's free, and you get a free bike light to get your commute started. Charlotte?
All right, Mary Jo, thank you very much. More and more people are riding their bike to work, and if you were thinking about joining them, there are some things you should take into consideration first. Mary Jo joins us live once again. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlotte. So, you know, we've got the helmet, we've got some safety gear, including this reflector and my armband and everything, and the bike fits this time. But there's a couple of things I'll have to know before you know, start pedaling off, I guess you could say. Now with us this morning is Zach Barnes with the Wisconsin Bike Fed to tell us more about the rules of the road, bike etiquette. So I guess where do you even start?
Well, I guess the best way to start is just really seeing the bicycle as a vehicle. And so just like thinking about your car, we've got the same responsibilities and rights and enjoyment of freedoms. And so
one of those things is you have to get your bike registered, right?
Yeah,
or is
exactly.
It's suggested, right?
It's a law in the city of Madison that we need to register our bikes, and that's another great way to really show people, like, the bicycle is a vehicle. It has a registration that helps support trails and programming in our city, and so that's a good step at first. And then also just really thinking outside of ourselves, making a courtesy to other people on the roads, you know, pedestrians, bicyclists, and motorists. Like, we all kind of want to share the road, and so it's reciprocal between both bikers and pedestrians is really a high priority one, but also, you know, having a good attitude between bikers and drivers will go a long way improving bike culture here in Madison.
Well, going right off of that, I mean, I've seen people, you know, just driving around town, putting hand signals.
Yeah.
What are the ones that are basics that we need to know? Where are people pointing? I don't even know what those mean, really.
In the state of Wisconsin, you want to point, Mary Jo, in the direction that you intend to turn, and so our whole advocacy is for predictable bicycling. And so, you know, when practicable, when it's safe to do so, really pointing the direction that you anticipate turning. And you can do that in either direction in the state of Wisconsin. You don't have to worry about complicated bike turns. You can just point in the way you want to go.
And even if you have to switch or get in front of a car, is that when you point to them, like if there's a car on my back left?
Yeah, so it's constantly a dance of nonverbal communication, and we want it to be, you know, with a smile, with a friendly wave. And so that driver will remember that, and they'll pay it forward. They'll you know, respect other cyclists if we're all ambassadors to this.
And also very important to have some sort of reflector or a light so that people
important.
can see you if it gets a little darker or cloudy like it is now, and it's starting to rain actually. But thank you, Zach, so much for being with us. You can check out the Choose to Commute workshop tomorrow night at the Rodamte Cafe starting at 7. And since we are all ready to go, Zach is here to join me on our first commute. So, Charlotte, we may see you back at the station if I don't fall off before then.
All right.
Thank you.
Get moving.